You probably think of cancer as one of those things that's just part of being alive, something that gets more likely the longer you live, the bigger you are, the more cells you're carrying around. It feels almost like a law of nature. More cells, more time, more cancer. So here's a fact that should stop you cold. The blue whale is the largest animal that has ever existed. Longer than a passenger jet, heavier than any dinosaur, its body holding somewhere around 1,000 times more cells than yours. By every instinct you have, it should be riddled with tumors. A swimming cancer factory. And instead, the blue whale almost never gets cancer at all. Sit with how strange that is. Cancer begins when a single cell's DNA gets damaged in just the wrong way, and it starts copying itself out of control. Every time any cell divides, there's a tiny chance of that going wrong. So more cells, dividing more times, over a longer life, should mean far more cancer, not less. By that logic, a blue whale should be dead of cancer before it ever grows up. Every giant, long-lived animal should be. They're not. Across the entire animal kingdom, the biggest creatures are often the least likely to get cancer. And it isn't luck. Evolution solved this problem, over and over, in completely different ways. And it turns out those solutions might be the most valuable thing biology has ever hidden from us. This is the story of one of the strangest puzzles in all of science. It has a name almost no one has heard, Peto's paradox, and cracking it means walking through 3 animals that each defeated cancer using a totally different trick. An elephant, a wrinkled, nearly blind rodent, and a whale that lives for 2 centuries. 3 creatures, 3 unrelated solutions to the thing that will touch nearly every human you know, and at the end sits the question that actually matters. If they solved it, why haven't we? But first, you have to understand why being big and old should be a death sentence, and somehow isn't. Here's the logic that seems airtight. Picture cancer as a lottery. Every single cell division is 1 ticket. Almost every ticket loses. Nothing happens. But buy enough tickets, and eventually one comes up as the wrong mutation in the wrong gene, and a tumor begins. A mouse has few cells and lives about 2 years. It buys few tickets. You have trillions of cells and live 80-odd years. Vastly more tickets. And a whale is buying tickets by the trillions upon trillions, for up to 200 years. If the lottery worked the way it should, big long-lived animals would be wiped out by cancer so fast they could never have evolved in the first place. And here's what shattered the whole model. When scientists actually measured it, they found no relationship at all between an animal's size and its cancer rate. None. A tiny mouse is more likely to die of cancer than you are. In the 1970s, an English scientist named Richard Peto pointed at this contradiction and asked the obvious question, how? That question is now called Peto's paradox. And the answer isn't one thing, it's a stack of them. Start with the elephant, because its answer is the cleanest. Inside your cells sits a gene called P53. It's nicknamed the guardian of the genome, and it has one job. When a cell's DNA gets damaged, P53 decides whether to pause that cell and repair it, or, if the damage is too bad, order the cell to destroy itself before it can ever turn cancerous. It's your body's quality control inspector, and it is ruthless. You have 1 copy, inherited from each parent. Elephants have 20 copies of that same gene, packed into their genome. So where your body inspects a damaged cell once, and might let a borderline one slip through, an elephant's body checks it 20 times over, and deletes anything suspicious on the spot. Their cells are so aggressive about this that in the lab, when you damage elephant DNA, the cells commit suicide at far higher rates than human cells do. No hesitation, no second chances. The elephant didn't get better at repairing damage, it got merciless about deleting it. And we know how much this matters, because humans born with just 1 faulty copy of P53 have a condition called Li-Fraumeni syndrome, and their lifetime risk of cancer runs upward of 90%. 1 broken guardian nearly guarantees it. The elephant walks around with 40 working ones. That's 1 door out of the trap. Here's a completely different one, and it belongs to one of the strangest animals alive, the naked mole rat. A wrinkled, nearly blind, hairless rodent the size of a mouse that lives in tunnels under East Africa. A mouse lives about 4 years. The naked mole rat lives past 30, some past 40. That's the equivalent of a human living 700 years. And in decades of watching entire colonies of them, scientists recorded almost no cancer. Essentially none. Its trick has nothing to do with P53. The naked mole rat's body is packed with a special substance, a sugar molecule called hyaluronan, except its version is enormous, more than 5 times bigger than the kind in your body, and there's roughly 10 times more of it. This supersized, super sticky goo floods the space between their cells, and it does something elegant. It stops cells from crowding. The instant cells begin packing too tightly together, the very first step toward a tumor, the sticky matrix tells them to stop dividing. A tumor can't form because the cells are physically prevented from piling up in the first place. The elephant kills bad cells after they appear. The mole rat makes sure they can never get started. And then there's the third animal, with maybe the most impressive trick of all, the bowhead whale. Second largest animal on Earth, over 80,000 kilograms, and the longest-lived mammal known, with a lifespan beyond 200 years. There are bowhead whales alive today that were born before the light bulb was invented. You'd expect it to just have loads of extra P53 like the elephant. It doesn't. The bowhead whale took the opposite approach. Instead of aggressively killing damaged cells, it almost never lets them get damaged in the first place. Its cells repair broken DNA with a precision that puts ours to shame, catching and fixing errors so faithfully that the mutations barely accumulate at all. Where the elephant deletes mistakes and the mole rat blocks them, the whale simply refuses to make them. 200 years of life, trillions of cells, and a repair system so accurate the lottery tickets almost never come up wrong. So that's the resolution to Peto's paradox. And look at the shape of it. It was never one master solution. 3 animals. 3 completely unrelated strategies for the exact same problem. The elephant wins with quality control, 20 guardians deleting anything suspect. The naked mole rat wins with crowd control, a sticky trap that won't let cells pile up. The bowhead whale wins with flawless copying, repair so precise the damage never sticks. Delete it, block it, or never make it. Nature found 3 different doors out of the same trap, and every big ancient species you can name is running some version of one of them. That's why they get to be enormous and old. They earned the right to be big by first solving cancer. Now I have to be straight with you, because the title of this video is Bending the Truth Slightly, and it matters. Never is an overstatement. Elephants do get cancer. Naked mole rats, very rarely, have been found with it too. No animal is a magic fortress. The honest version isn't these animals never get cancer, it's that they get it astonishingly, almost impossibly rarely, given how many cells they carry and how long they live. An elephant dies of cancer at maybe a third the rate a human does, while being 100 times bigger. That's not a fairy tale of immunity. It's something better, because it's real. Evolution didn't make these animals invincible. It made them resistant. And resistance is a thing you can study, measure, and maybe borrow. Which is exactly what's happening, because scientists aren't just admiring these tricks anymore, they're taking them. Researchers took that naked mole rat gene, the one that makes the giant sticky sugar, and put it into ordinary mice. The mice became measurably more resistant to cancer and lived longer. A defense that evolved in a rodent under Africa, transplanted into another species, and it worked. The whale one is even stranger. Scientists found that if you simply cool human cells toward the whale's body temperature, around 33 degrees, our own version of its key DNA repair protein switches on more strongly, and our cells begin repairing damage more like a whale's do. The blueprint isn't locked away inside these animals. It's portable. And the elephant's small army of P53 genes is being studied right now as the basis for future cancer drugs. Here's why that should land. Roughly 1 in every 2 or 3 people alive will face cancer in their lifetime. For a century, almost all of our effort has gone into fighting it after it appears, cutting it out, poisoning it, burning it away, always a step behind. But these animals point at a completely different idea. They don't fight cancer, they prevent it, at the level of a single cell, before a tumor can ever exist. The elephant, the mole rat, and the whale are, in a real sense, 3 working prototypes of what a cancer-resistant body looks like, already built, already road-tested by millions of years of evolution, swimming and walking around the planet right now. We don't have to invent the answer from scratch. We just have to read the ones already out there, and we've started. So the next time you picture that blue whale, that impossible jet-sized animal gliding through the deep, its body holding 1,000 times more cells than yours, don't just think about how big it is. Think about the fact that it will almost certainly never get cancer, and that this is not luck and not an accident. Cancer was never truly inevitable. It's a problem evolution has already solved, several different ways, in animals alive on this planet today. We're just finally learning to read the answers they've been carrying all along.